3 weeks ago, a 67-year-old woman missed her flight because TSA detained her for 40 minutes over her insulin. Last month, a retired teacher had a public meltdown when an officer insisted on a pat-down in front of everyone. These stories happen every single day, and they're completely preventable, because TSA has 5 official programs that eliminate almost all security stress for travelers over 60. The problem? Almost nobody knows they exist. Not tricks or loopholes, official services that exist right now at every major airport in America. Airlines don't advertise them, TSA doesn't promote them clearly, and thousands of seniors suffer through security anxiety on every single flight when they could be walking through calmly, confidently, with actual TSA assistance. I'm the terminal traveler, and I help nervous flyers navigate airports without the stress. In this video, you're getting exact phone numbers, specific websites, and word-for-word scripts for requesting help. No vague advice, no maybes. By the end, you'll know more about TSA services than most travel agents. And, more importantly, you'll know you have every legal right to use them without apology or embarrassment. These services exist specifically for you. Let's start with the one that eliminates almost all security anxiety, and it's completely free. The first service is called TSA Cares, and it's extraordinary that more people don't know about it. This is an official TSA program where a dedicated passenger support specialist meets you at the security checkpoint and guides you through the entire screening process personally. Not just answering questions, actually staying with you, explaining each step, handling any issues that come up, making sure you get through smoothly. Think of it as having a TSA agent as your personal escort through security. Here's the phone number, and I'm going to say it twice, slowly so you can write it down. 877-227-5511. That's 877-227-5511. Call that number at least 72 hours before your flight, not the day before, not the morning of. The system needs time to assign someone to meet you. When you call, they'll ask for your flight information, which airport you're departing from, and what specific concerns or assistance you need. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need medical documentation. Just tell them what would make security easier for you. Maybe you're worried about your pacemaker setting off the metal detector. Maybe you move slowly and feel rushed. Maybe you're confused about what stays in your bag and what comes out. Whatever your concern, that's enough. They'll note it in the system, and on the day of your flight, a TSA officer will be waiting at the checkpoint entrance with your name. They'll introduce themselves, walk you through every step, and stay until you're completely through security and heading to your gate. This service exists at every major US airport. It's free, it's official, and you're not taking anything away from anyone else by using it. The hardest part for most people isn't calling, it's giving themselves permission to call. So let me be very clear about something. You're not being difficult. You're not creating extra work. TSA funds this program specifically because they want travelers like you to use it. Officers who work with TSA Cares volunteer for these assignments. They want to help. Your call is not an imposition. It's exactly what the program was designed for. Write down that number right now. 877-227-5511. Call them before your next flight and see how different security feels when you're not facing it alone. But maybe you don't want to call in advance. Maybe you want something you can use on the spot without having to explain your medical situation out loud in a crowded checkpoint. That's where the second service becomes invaluable. It's called the TSA notification card, and it's a small card you hand silently to the TSA officer at the beginning of screening. The card communicates your needs privately. You don't have to say anything. The officer reads it, adjusts their approach, and hands it back. That's it. You can download this card for free right now. Go to tsa.gov and search for notification card, or I'll put the direct link in the description below. It's a simple PDF, print it at home, or if you don't have a printer, any library will print it for free. The card has blank spaces where you write your specific situation. Maybe you have a pacemaker and can't go through the metal detector. Maybe you have hearing loss and need the officer to face you directly when speaking. Maybe you have an ostomy bag and need private screening. Maybe you have cognitive challenges and need each step explained slowly. Whatever your need, you write it on the card before you get to the airport. Then, when you reach the checkpoint, before you put anything in a bin, you simply hand the card to the first TSA officer you see. They read it in about 5 seconds. They nod, they hand it back, and they adjust their screening process accordingly. You haven't announced anything to the 50 people standing around you. You haven't had to explain your medical history. You've communicated clearly and privately, and the officer knows exactly how to help you. Here's a pro tip that makes this even better. After you print the card and fill it out, get it laminated at any office supply store. Costs about $2. Now you have a durable card you can use on every flight for years. Keep it in your wallet or in an outer pocket of your carry-on where you can grab it instantly. TSA officers are trained to recognize these cards immediately. The moment they see it, they know you're someone who's prepared, informed, and has specific needs they need to respect. That card turns a potentially awkward conversation into a smooth, dignified interaction, and you never have to say a word. Now, let's talk about the fear I hear about most often. Medications being confiscated. This anxiety keeps people up the night before flying. They're convinced TSA will take their prescriptions, question them, make them choose between their health and their flight. So I'm going to tell you exactly what TSA's rules are, because once you know them, that fear disappears completely. The 3.4-ounce liquid rule that applies to shampoo and mouthwash does not apply to medications. Let me repeat that. Liquid medications are exempt from the 3.4-ounce rule. Completely exempt. You can bring unlimited amounts of liquid prescription medication. Insulin, cough syrup, liquid antibiotics, whatever you need for your trip, there is no size limit. You can bring the full bottle even if it's 8 ounces or 12 ounces. You can bring multiple bottles. TSA does not count them against you. The same goes for medically necessary liquids like contact lens solution or eye drops. And injectable medications like insulin pens, EpiPens, or any prescription injections are allowed without restriction. Bring as many as you need. But here's the critical part that trips people up. You must declare them at the beginning of screening. Don't just leave them buried in your bag hoping they won't notice. That's when problems happen. Instead, take your medications out and place them in a separate bin. As you do, tell the TSA officer clearly, "I have liquid medications that exceed 3.4 ounces. That one sentence changes everything. Now they know you're following proper procedure. Now they know these aren't random liquids you're trying to sneak through. These are declared medical necessities. The officer will inspect them. They might open the bottles. They might swab them with a test strip. That's normal, and it takes about 30 seconds. They're not questioning your need for them. They're just verifying they're safe, same as they do with everything else. But here's what they will not do. They will not confiscate properly declared medications, ever. The only time medications get taken is when someone doesn't declare them and TSA discovers them during a bag search, or when they're in unmarked containers with no labels. If your medications are in their original prescription bottles with your name on the label, and you declare them up front, they're going through security with you, guaranteed. Medical equipment follows the same logic. Your CPAP machine does not count toward your carry-on limit, your oxygen concentrator doesn't count, your nebulizer, your blood pressure monitor, your glucose meter, none of these count as carry-on items. You can bring your regular carry-on bag, your personal item, and all your medical equipment on top of that. TSA explicitly exempts medical devices from baggage limits. If you need ice packs to keep insulin cold, those are allowed to. They need to be frozen solid or slushy, not completely melted into water. No limit on how many you bring. The key to all of this is communication. Tell them what you have, don't hide it, and don't apologize for it. Just declare it matter-of-factly and let them do their job. When you're up front, screening goes smoothly. When you try to slip things through undeclared, that's when you end up in secondary screening, explaining yourself. One more thing that helps tremendously: keep your medications in their original labeled containers whenever possible. If you use a pill organizer for daily doses, that's fine, but keep the prescription bottles with you as backup. And if you're traveling internationally, bring a letter from your doctor listing your medications. It's not required for domestic flights, but it speeds things up and prevents questions. But what if the screening process itself makes you uncomfortable? What if you don't want to pat down in public view? What if you have medical devices under your clothing that you'd rather not explain in front of a crowd? You have a legal right most people never learn about. At any point during TSA screening, you can request a private screening. You don't need a reason. You don't need to justify it. You just ask, and they provide it. Here's what to say. When you get to the checkpoint, before any screening begins, tell the TSA officer, "I would like a private screening, please." That's all. 5 seconds later, an officer will escort you to a private screening room. It's a small room near the checkpoint, door closes, and the exact same screening process happens, just away from public view. Takes the same amount of time, about 5 to 10 minutes. Same procedures, same rules, just private. And here's something that matters deeply to a lot of travelers. You can bring someone with you. Your spouse, your adult child, your traveling companion, whoever you're flying with can come into that private room and witness the entire screening. They can't interfere or touch you during the process, but they can be there with you. For many people, having a familiar person present changes the experience completely. You're not alone with strangers. You've got an advocate, a witness, someone you trust, who benefits from private screening. Anyone with a pacemaker or defibrillator who needs to explain why they can't go through the standard metal detector, anyone with prosthetics that require detailed inspection, anyone with a catheter or ostomy bag, anyone who's had joint replacements and knows the metal detector will alarm, anyone who simply feels more comfortable with privacy, there's no wrong reason to request it. This is your legal right under TSA policy, not a special accommodation. They're doing you a favor by granting a right. Officers handle these requests constantly. They're trained for it. There's a procedure. They follow it. No judgment, no hassle, no questions about why you want privacy. You ask, they provide it, end of story. And if you're worried about delaying your travel, don't be. Private screening happens while regular screening continues outside. You're not holding up any lines. You're not causing problems. You're using an official option that exists specifically for situations like yours. Give yourself permission to ask for what makes you comfortable. TSA already gave you that permission in their official policy. Now, you just have to use it. Now we get to the service that eliminates about 90% of security stress and actually saves you time on every single flight you take. TSA PreCheck. You've probably heard of it. You've probably seen those shorter lines at the airport and wondered who gets to use them. The answer is anyone willing to spend $78 for 5 years of expedited screening. And if you're over 60 and you fly even twice a year, this might be the best travel investment you'll ever make. Here's what TSA PreCheck gives you. A separate, faster security lane at more than 200 airports across the United States. Average wait time is under 5 minutes compared to 20 minutes or more in regular lines. But the real benefit isn't speed, it's physical ease. With PreCheck, you keep your shoes on. No more bending down to untie laces, struggling to get them back on while people wait behind you. You keep your belt on. Your light jacket stays on. Your watch stays on. Everything that's comfortable stays exactly where it is. Your laptop and tablet stay in your bag. You don't have to dig them out, find space in a bin, repack them afterward. Your liquids stay in your bag too. They still need to follow the 3.4-ounce rule, but you don't have to pull out that quart-sized bag and display it. Everything just goes through in your carry-on. Less bending, less unpacking, less physical strain, less standing around reorganizing your belongings. For seniors, this isn't about convenience, it's about dignity and reducing the physical demands of travel. Let's talk about cost, because I know that matters. $78 for 5 years, that breaks down to less than $16 per year. That's cheaper than one checked bag on a single flight. If you fly twice a year, that's 2 round trips, 4 times through security. PreCheck pays for itself immediately, in time saved and stress avoided. If you fly more often, the value multiplies. And here's something most people don't know. Some credit cards reimburse the PreCheck fee completely. Chase Sapphire cards do it, Capital One Venture cards do it, and several others. Check your credit card benefits before you pay out of pocket. You might already have a reimbursement waiting. Applying takes about 15 minutes total. Go to tsa.gov/precheck and fill out the online application. Basic information, nothing complicated. Then you schedule a 10-minute in-person appointment at an enrollment center. These centers are everywhere. Airports, some staple stores, dedicated enrollment locations. You show up with your driver's license or passport and a payment method. They take your photo, scan your fingerprints, collect the fee, and you're done. 3 to 5 days later, you get an email with your known traveler number. Add that number to your airline reservations from now on, and every boarding pass will show TSA PreCheck approved. One question I get constantly, does PreCheck work if you also use wheelchair assistance? Absolutely yes. You can request wheelchair service and have PreCheck. They're completely compatible. Does PreCheck mean you can't request private screening? No, you still have that right anytime. PreCheck just means you're in a faster lane with less demanding screening procedures. But all the other TSA services we've talked about still apply. You're not giving anything up. You're adding a benefit. Here's the reality check. If you're 60 or older and you fly at least twice a year for the next 5 years, PreCheck will save you hours of standing in line. Eliminate the physical stress of removing shoes and unpacking bags, and reduce your security anxiety dramatically. That's worth $78. That's worth $16 a year. Most people spend more than that on airport coffee on a single trip. This is an investment in comfortable travel. And unlike most things you spend money on at airports, this one keeps giving value every time you fly. So let's bring this all together, because knowledge without action doesn't change anything. You now know about 5 official TSA services that most travelers never hear about. TSA Cares gives you a personal TSA escort through security. Call 877-227-5511 at least 72 hours before your flight. Just call them. Tell them you want assistance. They'll take care of the rest. The TSA notification card lets you communicate medical needs privately without saying a word. Go to tsa.gov, search for notification card, download it, print it, fill it out, laminate it. 5 minutes of preparation that eliminates awkward public explanations forever. Medication exemptions mean your liquid prescriptions are unlimited. Medical equipment doesn't count toward carry-on limits. Just declare everything at the start of screening. Say clearly, I have liquid medications or I'm traveling with medical equipment. That one sentence prevents every problem. Private screening is your legal right whenever you want it. Request it at the checkpoint. They'll take you to a private room. Your companion can come with you. Same screening, but away from crowds. No justification needed. It's your right. And TSA PreCheck costs $78 for 5 years of keeping your shoes on, shorter lines, less physical strain, and faster screening. If you fly twice a year, it pays for itself immediately. Apply at tsa.gov/precheck Takes 15 minutes and might be reimbursed by your credit card. But here's what matters more than any individual service. These programs exist specifically for you. They're not special favors. They're not accommodations. TSA grudgingly provides their official services funded and staffed because TSA wants older travelers and people with medical needs to fly comfortably and safely. The only thing standing between you and easier travel is asking, using the phone number, downloading the card, declaring your medications, requesting privacy when you need it, applying for PreCheck. Every single one of these requires you to take one small action. Make a call, print a document, speak one sentence. That's the only barrier. Not eligibility, not worthiness, not whether you deserve help, just whether you'll give yourself permission to ask for what's already available to you. I talk to nervous travelers every week who tell me they don't want to be a burden, they don't want special treatment, they don't want to slow anyone down. And I tell them the same thing I'm telling you right now. TSA created these programs because helping you is literally their job. The officers who assist with TSA Cares volunteer for those assignments. They want to help. The notification card system exists because TSA knows public screening can be uncomfortable for people with medical needs. Private screening rooms are built into every checkpoint because TSA planned for people who need privacy. Pre-check lanes exist because TSA wants to reward travelers who go through the background check process. None of this is about you taking advantage of anything. It's about you using services that were designed with you in mind. If you needed glasses to read the departure board, you'd wear them without apology. If you needed a cane to walk through the terminal, you'd use it without guilt. These TSA services are no different. They're tools that make travel accessible, and using tools isn't weakness, it's intelligence. So, which service will you use on your next flight? Comment below and tell me. Write 1 for TSA Cares, 2 for the notification card, 3 for private screening, 4 for PreCheck, or just tell me which one surprised you most. If this video reduced your security anxiety even a little bit, click that thumbs up so more seniors can find this information. YouTube shows videos to more people when they get early engagement, and someone in your life needs to see this before their next flight. Subscribe to The Terminal Traveler for a new airport guide every week. I help nervous flyers over 60 navigate everything from checking in to boarding to baggage claim. Next week, I'm showing you exactly what to do during that waiting time at your gate, including a free service that brings food to your seat and how to get priority boarding without paying extra for it. TSA security doesn't have to be the part of travel that keeps you up the night before. When you know your options and your rights, you walk through those checkpoints like you've done it 1,000 times, because you're not guessing anymore. You're not hoping you don't get pulled aside. You're traveling with actual TSA support, official programs, and the confidence that comes from understanding the system. Safe travels, and I'll see you at the gate.